Hello everyone, my name is Erandi Kithulgoda, and in this presentation I will be discussing the findings of a pilot study that I conducted for my PhD research. The topic is the discourse of online shopping in a changing global dynamic. Now, in my study, I analyzed the online product description genre as an instance of online shopping discourse using a corpus-based approach. The study is cross-cultural, including both a New Zealand and a Sri Lankan subcorpus of an online product descriptions. So it is intended to be useful to ESL, EFL writers, as well as writers who are native speakers. I define the online product description as the details that appear on the product page of an online shopping site that describe the product. The term includes both written and textual visual aspects as well. That is because the textual and visual modes function together to persuade customers to buy the product. So products are verbally described using written text and visually described through images. And in this slide, you see two examples of the online product description that I'm talking about. Okay, now the specific questions that I intend to address in the presentation are whether there is a difference in rhetorical structure, discourse features, and images between New Zealand and Sri Lankan product descriptions. In order to investigate this question, I compiled a corpus of herbal beauty care product descriptions. It's a product category which is commonly sold online in both countries. My method of analysis involved a move analysis of the rhetorical structure of the genre and a manual analysis of its discourse features. I also used some of the tools from Crescent Van Leeuwen's Grammar of Visual Design for the visual analysis. Let's now move on to the findings. So to answer the first question, whether there is a difference in rhetorical structure between Sri Lankan and New Zealand product descriptions, yes, there seems to be a difference in the structures, with move 5 being significantly absent from the move structure of Sri Lankan product descriptions. Other than that, there are differences at step level inside each move. So these are the steps that can be commonly observed operationalizing the first few moves. And I must say that some steps are actually unique to either Sri Lankan or to New Zealand product descriptions. For instance, before and after using the product step is only used in New Zealand product descriptions as part of the promotional statement move. It also needs to be noted that this step is visual and it works together with other written steps to achieve the persuasive function of that move. Okay, here you can see the first half of a product description, which I have used to show the various moves at work. And the image, of course, plays multiple functions at the same time, and it's therefore part of several moves. And this is the bottom half of the product description, once again with moves highlighted. Now let's move on to our second question. There are some common discourse features characterizing the genre and also some differences. Use of pronouns, attributive adjectives, and the imperative sentence structure are some of the salient common discourse features. Subjectless predicates are also a common feature. However, the New Zealand product descriptions use verbs and adjectives sentence initially, while the Sri Lankan product description tends to use nouns and noun phrases. And with regard to the differences, I observed the frequent use of verb-adverb combinations, prepositional phrases using with, without, to, and parallelism using coordinating conjunctions in New Zealand product descriptions. In Sri Lankan product descriptions, I noted a tendency to delete the relative pronoun that, and also listing of ideas and objects using commas, and the use of while to combine clauses together in subordinating clauses. Okay, now let us look at the third and last question that I investigated, whether there is any difference in the use of visual or the use of images. So Kress and Van Leeuwen proposed that we investigate three types of meaning when exploring visual meaning. Today, however, I shall be discussing findings from the analysis of the ideational and interpersonal meanings. The ideational metafunction refers to how a semiotic system represents different ideas or objects. There are two types of representation. They are narrative process and conceptual representation. Now, conceptual representation refers to how visuals represent ideas and objects without any representation of actions. Narrative processes, on the other hand, refer to visuals where human participants do something to or for each other. Here you can see that images used in New Zealand product descriptions contain both narrative and conceptual images. However, surprisingly, the Sri Lankan product descriptions contained only conceptual images. Moving on, interpersonal meaning refers to how a semiotic mode can project a particular social relation between the image producer, the image viewer, and the represented object. In this regard, one distinction that is made between demand images and offer images. Now, demand images are the ones in which participants gaze directly at the viewers, creating a form of direct address. In contrast, offer images provide information to the viewers more objectively, and there are no animate participants making direct eye contact with viewers. So in this study, 8 out of 38 New Zealand product descriptions contained human participants, either in the form of a face, part of a face, or body part, as seen in figures 1, 2, and 3. And 4 out of those 8 images have participants who look directly at the camera, as seen in figure 1. And they were classified as demand images. So the humans in such images demand viewer attention and want them to engage with the results of using the product as visible on their faces. On the other hand, 4 images with human participants like figure 2 and 3, along with 30 images with non-human participants like figure 4, were classified as offer images. They did not present any visual gaze, and the images only offered information to the viewer without initiating a visual dialogue. And surprisingly, once again, there were no demand images at all in the Sri Lankan subcorpus, let alone any signs of human participants. All images are offer images, and there does not seem to be a strong engagement or addressing of the potential customers by using images. So I would like to conclude this presentation by saying that yes, there are culture-specific differences in rhetorical structure, visible at move level, but more so at step level. The online product description genre is also, it contains strong intersemiosis. Many functions of moves are achieved by the visual and verbal modes working together. We also see discourse features common to both cultures, but also patterns distinctive to each country, suggesting the necessity of culture-specific language awareness when writing for foreign markets. In addition, offer images are the more common in both Sri Lankan and New Zealand product descriptions. It indicates a prioritization of informing over customer engagement through images. Finally, there is significant variation in using offer and demand images in Sri Lankan and New Zealand product descriptions, implying the varying levels of customer engagement using the visual mode. So we have come to the end of the presentation. These are my references, and thank you for your attention. Have a good day.